What's going on, guys? Oh man, full disclosure all the way up front. GearBest sent me this knife probably 3 months ago or so, and wanted me to review it. I agreed to do the review. I didn't think at the time that it was a knockoff of a knife, and come to find out it was. But I still have to make this video because I told them I would, and I have to do it as unbiasedly as possible. But you guys kind of know how I feel about knockoff knives. Now, it's hard because I would really like to have the actual knife right next to me, because I don't know. If you're wondering what this is the Ganzo G745. It does have 440C. It's under 20 bucks. I did carry and use this knife for several days. I think it was a week or two, actually. I was very impressed with it. Everything, down to the design, down to all the fit and finish. I didn't have any knock on the knife besides 440C, but all in all, I sharpened this knife, which I know is a no-no sometimes when you're reviewing a knife, because I might say that this knife held a wonderful edge, you know, for 440C, but that's me sharpening the knife and putting my edge on there. So if it's a convex edge, you know, it's going to hold a little bit better than a standard edge, you know, and if you strop it, polished versus toothy and all that. So anyways, I sharpened this knife because I was going to carry and use this knife, and I did, and I was very impressed with it. But you guys are going to have to use your own judgment. This is very close, if not 100% copy of the HK alphabet soup. Here we go, number soup. It's the HK 14715. So HK, usually made by Benchmade, which is why they had the axis lock in there. This is a direct clone of that. So I don't know. How do I review this knife and tell you what a great knife it is, but then it's a copy of the other knife? I don't know. I don't know how I go about doing that. Certainly not going to make GearBest happy. Certainly not going to make Ganzo Knife happy. But I have to be true to my channel, and I have to be true in how I believe. I really don't believe in knockoffs. I'm showing you this knife because they do exist, and there are people who would never spend the $145 on that HK 14715 BK, and it's now discontinued. So Ganzo still makes this G745, and I didn't find it in the carbon fiber like this is. And this looks like real carbon fiber to me. I don't know how they produce this knife for under 20 bucks. It's very hard to find now. I wasn't able to find it in this carbon fiber handle, but you can find them in this all day long at GearBest. So if you like what you see, head on over there, please. You know, but if you're like me and you're not, you know, a big fan of knockoff knives, I don't quite know what the story is on the axis lock. Is that still patented, or has it been so many years? How does patents work? Can they run out after so many years? Why are we seeing a lot more of these knives with axis locks on them? You know, is that technology that is able to be used by everybody ethically now, or is this just a 100% clone? You know, who knows? And then who knows, is that HK, is that maybe even made in the same factory as this or not? I don't know where that knife comes from. I don't want to start any rumors either. I really do not know. But I originally told GearBest that they could send this knife and I would do a review on it. But I picked this particular model because I had never seen anything like it. And then on Instagram, I seen somebody post their HK with this exact profile, down to exactly how the blade is. I will tell you, it's a great knife to carry and use. You see it's got the same edge shape here as my large 25. Well, the only way you can get a 25, right? See this belly here? Almost the same length and size. Same edge shape, not the same blade shape, obviously. You know what I mean? So it's about that size. It's a nice knife, has a great action. Works just like any other axis lock I've ever handled. Blade dead centered. The 440C sharpened right up, held a great edge. For 440C, you know, it was no slouch. I'd say it was a touch better than even Cold Steel's AUS 8, you know. So very fine grain structure, took a very, very keen edge. You're just gonna have to sharpen it if you're cutting a lot of stuff like cardboard and rope and stuff like that. Fibrous stuff that's gonna be tough on an edge. Other than that, if you was just carrying and using this for an EDC, I think you'd be fine with the 440C. At the price point, man, it was just unbelievable. So again, you're gonna have to make your own mind up. Seems like it even has nice decorative spacers here for the standoffs. You know, they could have just cheaped out and went a straight barrel through there, but they didn't. The lock hasn't moved. You can see all my pocket lint in there from where I've carried and used this knife. You can see where it's engaging on the tang of this, much like a nice high-end axis lock. Should engage right on that tail end there, so it has enough room to slide up with use. That's how this is. So it's very well done. Seems to be the stop pin. I can't tell if that's shouldered or not. Maybe one day we'll take this apart if this knife has enough interest. But look, all the fit and finish there. Unbelievable for under 25 bucks. Again, this came from GearBest. It is known as the G745. I do appreciate that GearBest sent this out to me. But you guys are going to have to make your mind up or not if you're okay with this knife being a clone. You know, it's a touchy subject, and a subject I'm not going to touch in this video. I'm just putting it out there. If you were to hand this knife to me and tell me to review it, I would come back and tell you that was at least a $50 to a $75 knife. If you were to hand this to somebody who just got started in the hobby and didn't quite know what 440C was or what Ganzo was, if you could erase these logos off here and you handed me this knife, I would have thought that this knife was a $150 knife. And for real. But I mean, I know what Ganzo is. You probably do too. And I know what 440C is. And 440C is not a bad steel. It's just an old school steel. Very proven, you know, but it's something that you're going to have to deal with, is that clone situation. Other than that, I do think it's a great knife. If you need a knife and you're okay with the clone to put in your truck, if you want something that you can beat up on, not feel bad about, maybe you're thinking about buying one of those HKs. Maybe spend the 20 bucks and see if you actually like the design here. I don't know what your reasoning will be. I am generally not a fan of clones, but I promised to do the video and I have to do it unbiasedly. I'm not going to tell you it's a crap knife. It's not. It's a great knife, but you know, it just is what it is. There it is, guys. You probably won't see many GearBest videos from me after this video, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna post it, and we'll see what happens. I am not opposed to reviewing these Ganzo knives, but you just have to know, you know, what you're dealing with. But I also understand there's people who don't want to spend $150 on a knife. You know, I also understand that somebody might need a knife that they could possibly damage or lose. You know, that's where something like this might come in. I understand that this $25 knife, this $20 knife, might get somebody into the hobby. The argument is there for that too. Might get somebody to say, hey, I do want that HK with the D2 blade steel. So then they love this knife so much they go buy the real version of it, you know? So it is what it is. I don't know, I can't justify it either way, but I do want to make the video. I want to let you guys know that it's in my hands and exactly what I think about it. I want to show you all the fit and finish. It's hard to knock the knife other than it's a cologne. I mean, fit and finish, gorgeous. Action, gorgeous. There's no side-to-side wiggle, and there's no up and down. It's a full-size knife with carbon fiber for under 25 bucks. That took a beautiful edge and has been holding it very well. Not as good as S30V, M390, something like that, but good enough for me to EDC. If you told me I had to carry and use this knife for a week, I'd have no problem. You know, it would cover all my uses that I need. So that's it. All right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. We'll see you on the next video. Hard to believe it was under 20 bucks. I think they're discontinued now. I don't know. Check out GearBest if you want to get a G745 for yourself. And thanks to GearBest for sending this out to me. See ya.